The minute I stopped dieting the world's way, meaning calorie and macro tracking, following expensive supplement protocols, avoiding specific food groups entirely, legitimately driving myself mad in the process, once I stopped doing that and started seeking God's direction for how to steward my body, it's like a light flipped on and everything just became easy.
Do you struggle to stay consistent with healthy eating and just want food decisions to be easy, guilt-free, and sustainable? You're in the right place. Hi, I'm Chelsea, nutritionist and fitness coach who overcame restrictive yo-yo dieting and body image insecurities using simple nutrition tools, all backed by biblical principles. And now I help women like you find that same freedom with food so you can feel confident in the look and health of your body for decades to come. I'm ready to dive in with you. So grab that cute notebook you've been hanging on to and let's go. First things first, in case you missed it, I am launching a brand new coaching opportunity. It's called Diet-Free Nutrition Coaching, where you can book a 1-hour strategy call with me. Tell me exactly where it is you are struggling with your nutrition, and I'll create a custom next steps plan with you in real time so you can finally break through that stronghold and get to feeling like your energetic, healthy self. Just head to coachrain.com/dietfree to book your 1-hour coaching call with me. I can hardly wait to serve you. And now, welcome to the show. Let's open another chapter in the book of Chelsea's life lessons, shall we? That's always fun, exposing my tribulations and occasional triumphs. This one takes us back to around the time I became Miss Iowa. I had been out of school for about 2 years, but I was struggling financially. I had crippling student loan debt from my fancy liberal arts college degree. And when I say crippling, I mean minimum payments were $1,000 a month. I had half of my tuition costs covered in scholarship throughout my 4 years, but I still graduated with 6 figures of debt. Needless to say, I was living paycheck to paycheck, working 3 jobs with 13-hour days, and donating plasma twice a week to cover my basic bills. And honestly, I'm still not sure how it all worked every month. I think there was some divine intervention there. Part of why I decided to compete for Miss Iowa was the scholarship money that I could use to pay off a chunk of that debt. By God's grace alone, I did become Miss Iowa, a blessing beyond measure. And I remember moving into the sponsored Miss Iowa apartment, looking at my bank account so I could buy my friend dinner for helping me move across the state pretty much overnight, but I only had $36 in my account. It was during that year, and really to this day, that I realized I needed God's help with finances. It didn't come naturally to me. I didn't feel like I could be generous because I was constantly living in scarcity. And I hated feeling so limited in life because I never had enough. So I started doing my research, learning what God tells us about money in the Bible, looking at how Jesus uses money in parables, and getting mentorship from trusted believers who do have a good relationship with money. It definitely took some time, and there were some uncomfortable phases, like tithing for the first time, or when I felt the Lord tell me to pay off the balance of my car loan, which was 75% of my savings at that moment. And admittedly, it's still a challenge for me to completely surrender my finances to His direction, but I've become much better at it over the years, and every time I am obedient, I see God move mountains. So, what does all of this have to do with nutrition? Just like He does with money or relationships or whatever pain point you struggle with in life, inviting God into the mess, seeking His direction, and following through on His way of doing things
which is often the opposite of the world's way, he cleans it all up. The minute I stopped dieting the world's way, meaning calorie and macro tracking, following expensive supplement protocols, avoiding specific food groups entirely, legitimately driving myself mad in the process, once I stopped doing that and started seeking God's direction for how to steward my body, it's like a light flipped on and everything just became easy. So today, I want to walk you through the 3 radical changes that happen when you bring God into your diet. The first one being clarity. God eliminates confusion. No more asking, is this healthy? And questioning everything you come across. No more, how many calories should I be eating as a 5'5" female who wants to lose 15 pounds? No more, is keto safe for women? No. God lays it out really quite clearly in the Bible. In fact, chapters 5 and 6 in my book, The Guide to Eating Biblically in a Modern World, pretty much spells it out for you. I dissect both what the books of Leviticus and Deuteronomy say in the Old Testament in comparison to what Jesus says in the New Testament to come up with a modern world answer to what should I eat to be healthy. You can get your copy on Amazon or from any online bookstore retailer. But that's the beauty of doing things God's way. He's not a God of confusion. He doesn't set traps or create puzzles to confuse us. Ultimately, He is our creator, a loving Father who wants us to thrive. We just need to make space to listen and learn, which is tough in our world. So bringing God into your diet brings clarity, and we love clarity around here. And the passage that I want to cite for you to remember this is Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 through 8, which says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take. Don't be impressed with your own wisdom. Instead, fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Then you will have healing for your body and strength for your bones." The next thing that happens when you bring God into your diet is peace. Listen, they don't call Jesus the Prince of Peace for no reason. When you lay your problems at His feet, meaning, hey Jesus, this thing is really causing me a lot of turmoil, I'm stressed, I don't know what to do, and everything I've tried doesn't work. The only thing I have left is your supernatural power to make a miracle happen. So here you go. Take it. I trust you. In doing that, Jesus says, sis, I hear you and see your heart. Let me handle this thing. But in exchange, I'd like to give you an overwhelming sense of peace. It's not going to make sense considering the circumstance, but that's how you know it's in my hands now. Question for you. Have you ever experienced the peace of God that surpasses all understanding? Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7 say, "Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus." So, what does this look like in the context of your diet? No more feelings of guilt or feeling like you failed by getting off track. This looks like having confidence in your food choices, having control over temptations. This looks like food being a tool in your life, not a constant thought looming in the back or front of your mind. And it looks like healing your relationship between food and your body. They're friends, not enemies. I have experienced this peace firsthand and had the privilege of witnessing with countless of my one-on-one nutrition clients. And let me tell you, there is nothing quite as sweet as feeling the chains of diet culture disintegrate off of you And to be able to look at a cookie and either freely say, no thanks, without feeling FOMO, or freely saying, sure, thank you, and not having spiraling thoughts of being a cheater later on. That is what bringing God into your diet can do. And the third radical change you will experience is actual sustainability. It's one thing to find a diet plan that works. It's another to find one that works and you can stick with for years and years and years to come. Because as much as we'd all love a quick fix, those tend to go backwards about as quickly as they worked. Very short lifespan on those. If you want a true lifestyle and results you can carry into every new phase of life, then you need the Lord in your corner. Which, as a Christian, once I made that connection, it was a bit of a duh moment for me. Like, God is omnipotent, meaning He is in everything, everywhere, all at once. He exists outside of time and space. So if I want a dietary plan that gets me the best version of my body and allows me to live a fulfilling life of purpose, who better to go to than the one who is already in my future, who knows my past, who created the very things that were designed for my body, who already has the answers and will still be here long after my body returns to dust. And the secret to that is God makes it simple. Very much like point number 1 and God bringing clarity, He also makes things simple. And when things are simple, they are much more sustainable. It's the world that complicates things and makes it difficult for us to stay the course. If we have 27 steps and 42 rules to follow every time we make a meal on a diet plan, that's a full-time job. No way are we keeping that going for more than a week, maybe 2. But if we have, say, 3 steps and 1 rule to follow, now we're talking. Again, God wants us to thrive. He has very specific purpose for you and for me in this world, and part of the prerequisite of that is a physical body that can handle that purpose. He is going to give you everything you need to steward your body. So doing it His way won't be unsustainable. That's just not His nature. Isaiah chapter 46 verse 4 says, I will be your God throughout your lifetime, until your hair is white with age. I made you and I will sustain you. I will carry you along and save you. What a promise. I'm telling you, deciding to follow God's design for food and stewarding your body is life-changing. Imagine never having to count another calorie or white-knuckle your way through another round of Whole30 or ever feel guilty about having dessert ever again. That's the outcome I can promise you when you bring God into your diet. And if you could use some guidance on how exactly to do that, I am now offering one-on-one coaching calls with me, where I'll answer all your questions and help you solve the biggest obstacle keeping you from making healthy eating a lifestyle, not just another diet. You deserve to have freedom with food and a body you're proud of. Head to coachrain.com/dietfree to sign up for your 1-hour deep dive coaching session with me. However, I only have a very select few spots available, so head there right now to make sure one of them is yours. coachrain.com/dietfree. I pray this episode was helpful to you, my friend. If so, could you do me a massive favor and take 30 seconds to write a review? This is the best way to bless me big and help more people learn just how simple eating healthy consistently can be. And if you want more value-packed info from me, head to coachrain.com and sign up for the Weekly Harvest, my weekly emails filled with recipes, how to use food as medicine, biblical nutrition, and more. That's coachreign.com for the Weekly Harvest. Blessings until next time, sis. Toodles.